Hello, hello. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you to some Heart Talk today. How y'all doing, Heart Tribe? I hope that this week has been treating you well. Happy Valentine's Day to you. If you're celebrating Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. I hope that you're feeling. Hope that you're not allowing this commercialized day. Yes, I said it to make you feel less than or shaded or insecure in any way, shape, or form. Because know that you are loved and you are important because you are breathing today. You are listening to this. That means that you're one amazing individual. Now, I wanted to get on today and talk with you guys a little bit about expanding your perspective. You need to expand your perspective. I talked to you before about being intentional, what that means. We talked a little bit about that on last week. I got great feedback from you guys of how that's been helping you in your life. So today I wanted to talk to you about expanding your perspective because what I know and what I see a lot in my life. The devil is a liar. I wonder what's going on with this connection. Y'all all right? Okay. All right. We're going to keep it going. Having some technical issues, but we're going to keep it going. In my personally, me, as I've been going through the day, I have my to-do list. I have my things that I'm intentional about. I have my time blocking. But as I was going through today, I actually had intended on getting on live with you all a little earlier, but I decided to invest a little bit more time into my personal care, taking care of myself, reading, getting some meditation in, and breathing. And the thing that I was reminded of was we have to be willing, if we're going to grow, if we're going to enjoy our lives, if we're going to truly live blessed, we have to be willing to expand our perspective, right? We have to be willing to zoom out from what we're currently dealing with and looking at. It's almost like if you work on something for a really long time and you don't make any, like, you don't take a break, you don't walk away from it, you just keep looking at it and obsessing over it, your vision of that thing is going to get cloudy. It's just like if you've ever looked at something under a microscope. If you have the lens too close to the item that's under the microscope, what'll happen is it's too blurry and you can't see it. So sometimes you have to zoom out. And what I'm saying is where you are in your life right now, it's time for you to expand your perspective. You have been zooming in on this thing. You have been missing out on what's really happening and what God is really trying to show to you. And so when you look at those around you, you might be at odds in your marriage. You might be having issues with your kids. You might be struggling in your work or your finances. It might feel like some things just aren't working out for you. But a lot of times you're going to feel that way because you're looking at it from such a small perspective. It's like you're trying to see your entire house, but you're literally standing right in front of the front door. Well, if you want to see what the front of a house looks like, many times you have to back up and be at the street and take a street view of it, right? Or even an aerial view of it to really get an understanding and an idea of what this house looks like, what this property looks like. I'm a realtor by trade as well, right? So when someone wants to see a house, I'm not going to take a picture of the house when I'm standing right at the front door. I'm going to back up. Most times I'm going to stand at the road and take a street view, or I might go online and or get a drone or something and try to do an aerial view so we can get an even more clear understanding of what is going on with this property. Where is it located? What is surrounding it? What is it close to? When you're standing right in front of the house, you can't see that. And what I'm trying to say to you is you're standing so close to your situation. You've been obsessing over this thing. You've been thinking about how can you fix it? How can you work it out? What are the solutions? How you going to get the money? How you going to get better. You got this diagnosis. What you gonna do with this child that's acting up? What you gonna do because you don't get along with your mother? You can't stand your father. You've been zoomed in on this situation for so long, you can't see the beauty and the blessing in the situation. So I'm saying to you right now, it's time for you to expand your perspective. It's time for you to look at your life, your circumstance, your situation a little differently. It's time for you to ask God, what is he trying to tell you? What is this situation in your life growing out of you? What is it getting out of you? What is it pulling from you? What is it pruning from you? See, what you don't understand is you keep going through that situation in your relationship because it's not about the other person changing, it's about you changing. You don't understand. Your child keeps acting up because God is trying to get you to understand there's something about you that needs to change. God isn't going to do anything with your child until you expand your perspective, till you get from standing right in front of the front door, you zoom out and get an aerial view of what's going on in your life. We live in such a superficial, vain society. You only want to take things for face value, or I'll believe it when I see it. I'm telling you, life does not operate like that. Life operates, you believe, then you'll see. And if not, you're going to keep recreating what you're looking at. Is that what you want? Happy Valentine's Day, Skylar. Is that what you want? So what I'm saying to you is expand your perspective. This morning, my husband gave me some Valentine's candy, a favorite kind of candy that I like. And I was like, I thought we said we weren't going to exchange any gifts. I thought we discussed that. We agreed upon that. And he was like, yeah, I know, but I just wanted to get this for you anyway. And the reason why I shared that with you is because we have to be willing to expand our perspective. I understand that we agreed on that, but he wanted to share this with me. He wanted to give me something extra. He wanted to do something nice, but he did it not looking for anything in return, right? So many times in my life, love was transactional, right? I have to be good enough to get the love. I have to be quiet enough. Don't say anything back. Don't ask any questions. Then you can get the love you want. Then you can get the joy you want. Then you can get the peace you want. But you just have to be the way I need you to be. You have to show up the way I need you to show up. So many times in life, I really experienced love like that. So when my husband gave me the candy, it's like I was triggered at first to say, oh boy, now I gotta go find something for him, because even though we agreed that we weren't gonna spread gifts, but if I want to keep that love of him, right, if I want to keep that affection from him, I better go get him a gift, because maybe he's really trying to tell me he wants a gift, but he just didn't say it like that. A lot of us are on edge in our relationships. A lot of us can't take people doing kind gestures, saying nice things, doing nice things for us, because our perspective is so limited. That's why exposure is so necessary. That's why representation matters. It does matter when you see people that look like you doing things that you didn't even know you could do. It does matter when you get out of your neighborhood, your community, your city, your little small way of seeing things, and get exposed to how other people are living. And it doesn't mean that you just gonna pick up and change and just do what they're doing, but it does impact you in a way that you can be creative. You can start to experience more of what God has for you and what God wants for you in your life. But the only way you can do that is when you expand your perspective, right? You have to be willing to expand your perspective. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I feel like you might be in a situation where you really are stuck. Like you might be in a situation where it's like nothing you do is good enough. Nothing you do is good enough. Nothing you could ever do can bring about change. I'm telling you it can, but you have to be willing to change your perspective. Meeting, so I just decided to jump back on really quickly with you all. Thank you for being so patient with me. Um, as I thank you for being patient with me as I went through that. Um, yes, I was just looking at the comment that Skylar wrote in there, and what I want to just kind of remind you about, and just to kind of keep in the forefront, is that when you expand your perspective, you open your heart, and you're able to get to understand more of who you are. Many times we get to know ourselves and we learn ourselves better because of our interactions with other people. Like when you live a very isolated life where you're trying to stay to yourself and you're working on you and you're in your healing journey, but you're living isolated away from people, avoiding contact with people, you will never know how strong you are. You will never know how much you've grown because you figure that out by interacting with others. And sometimes the others that you're interacting with is yourself. You have to expand your perspective so that you can not only deal with other people better, you have to deal with yourself better. Like you have to deal with yourself better so that you can in turn deal with others. And a lot of people don't understand that. We have such an external focus on healing and change, on enlightenment. I remember when I was doing heavy community mentoring. I still do mentoring and work with young people. I just don't work with them in a more full time capacity the way I was back in, I'd say 2015 through like 2019. We served over 150 youth. Um, we were really doing workshops with them. We were able to get them to go on retreats and sleepovers, and we were in the schools. I spoke at high schools, elementary schools, middle schools, did workshops and did groups with young women and young men. And one of the things that I realized when I was doing that is that many adults say they want to work with children. They want to mentor. They'll say, our kids really need us. Our kids really need someone to be there for them. Because why? They have an expanded perspective over what the kids can see. But what I came to realize in my experience as a mentor, as a program director, organizer, was that many adults wanted to work with the children because they had many unresolved issues themselves, right? They had many unresolved situations that were going on and they never resolved them. So they might have been 40 years old, they might have been 50, 60, 70 years old, but the 8-year old, the 9-year old, the 15-year old was still struggling, had a story that was not shared, had hurt and pain that hadn't been addressed or even realized. And a lot of that would show up in their interactions with the young people that we dealt with, or their interactions with their cohorts and within the program. And as I was seeking God and praying, because it was stressful, and I had never run an organization like that, the Lord was teaching me. We have to expand our perspective. Like, don't get frustrated with them. You're thankful for volunteers. You're thankful that you're partnering with people. But when you come to partnership, there's a byproduct of it, right? There's a byproduct of partnership. There's a byproduct of working with other people. There's a byproduct of helping others. It's like any work you do will produce waste. It's like any food you eat will produce some type of waste. Your body needs to release the waste from whatever food you may eat. You need to expand your perspective. You can no longer live in your small little bubble. If this video is blessing you, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. We have over 500 videos where we're growing and building heart equity, personal, relational, and financial wealth through authentic living. It's one thing for us to show up and live. But when you live authentically, you get to enjoy your life. Authentic living is an expanded perspective. Authentic living is both and. Authentic living is having a expanded mindset versus a fixed mindset and everything that comes along with that. So I just wanted to get on today Thank you all for being patient with our technical challenges that we had. And I just want to encourage you. I know it may be scary for you to expand your perspective because you have believed this story this way for a very long time. But it's time for you to tell yourself a new story. It's time for you to read a new script. It's time for you to play a new tune. It's time for you to live life on the terms that you were created to live them on, and not on the terms that your current society or your current culture is telling you you have to do it on. So this is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, signing out. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, share. I love y'all. Have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all next Wednesday.